Simon MANDA. South Africa, I'm sat here with Editor-in-Chief of THISABILITY newspaper, a disability awareness newspaper that comes out once a month and is distributed throughout South Africa. He is also one of our esteemed judges, not only this year, Simon, also last year. In fact, we've been together for the last 4 years of tributes now.
Three
years of tributes. Simon, tell us a bit about the newspaper, then we'll go to tributes.
We thought of coming up with a voice that speaks for the less privileged. Every mainstream paper speaks about disability from a heroic viewpoint or from a apathy viewpoint, and there's no in between. Because remember, if somebody has a disability, it's an everyday thing. They're just living their life. It's not about extreme cases. If the media can report on everyday stories, why not for people with disabilities? So we thought, if we start from an airborne viewpoint, where somebody with a disability just is doing extraordinary things in their ordinary state, then it needs to be mentioned, so that those that have taboos or that they don't understand about disability, they can learn one or two things, so-called mainstreaming or integration. This is how we thought to do it, by talking about positive stories in disability.
And it seems to have done very well. I mean, how long have you been going now?
We started this, you're a co-founder.
But there are certain things that we don't have to say.
Yeah,
I'm interviewing you here. Yeah, but it seems to have done very well, Simon.
Yeah, 2010 in August, minds came together. I won't say great, it might be a given, you know.
Yeah.
Great minds came together and we thought, let's push this as a vision forward. And up to this date, maybe this is the 13th, 14th edition. And yeah, it's still pushing.
How have people with disabilities as groups and as individuals taken up to the newspaper?
It's amazing, because the vision is, we don't put our voice, or my voice, I don't have a disability per se, but we let the voice of those that are disabled speak through the paper, through their own words, through their own viewpoints. So we don't have a say in the paper. So when they say a voice for the disabled, it's their voice because they are talking, and we just put these words into a platform that's distributed countrywide. And judging from programs and partnerships such as these tributes, it shows that there's a need. And being a judge on the panel, it means that the stories that you meet extraordinary people through the stories, and this is how it comes to be. And they form part of these amazing groups of people that are being chosen and honored by nomination, or not just by choice through their participation.
And tell me, let's go to tributes. As a person that deals with positive stories by people with disabilities, to be part of the tributes experience and also editor of this positive newspaper, what does it say to you?
It actually shows what myopic viewpoints would address. As people live their lives daily, they think they're in a very normal state of mind or state of position in their lives. But then you get to read about somebody who, from a physical viewpoint, is limited, doing extraordinary things that you never dream of achieving. It puts you to shame. It puts you to shame. Some might call it, you get motivated, but it goes beyond that. It challenges you.
Yeah.
And as far as they're physically challenged, to you it becomes a challenge greater than their physical challenge. Because it questions any value that you believe in. Because despite of what they lack, they've made up in aspiration, in vision, and in passion, which are combinative components that one can never hold at the same place because you think you're normal and they're challenged beyond means.
Yeah, you're talking about things that one cannot hold in one place. Tributes, disability. You have been a part of both these developments, and both of them seem to have been doing very well. What do you think is the charge behind this success?
It's the people that are chosen that motivate us every time to keep on searching, because you need to create.
So when you talk about people that are chosen, not necessarily for tributes, but also for stories in the newspaper.
That's it. It's you. At times you look for stories, but then some of them come to you. They just present themselves because you think, or maybe you're watching television, you hear of an amazing feat that somebody has done. Remember, behind everything, you are saying, if a child is disabled, they have to have an icon, somebody they look up to. I always quote the example of Michael Jackson. People love Michael Jackson. I'm in a wheelchair. I might never be able to dance like Michael Jackson. Who do I form? Who's my icon? Within that, then Nadine Mackenzie, the first integrated teacher in South Africa, it challenges your mindset. And you think, if you are in a wheelchair and there's a person that has been a pace setter, then I can achieve beyond what this person has done. Because already that has happened. So we're always looking for next challenges as human beings. If somebody has gone to the moon, we always look for better ways to go beyond the moon.
That wanting to go to Mars.
So if there is an icon in every field, this is why the paper we wanted to create those icons, ambassadors, so that children in special educational needs schools look up to people like the tributes and all those that have limiting environments, but within the environment they've gone beyond. They are creations of icons there, you know. So it becomes a given that kid can aspire, can always look up to somebody.
And do you think the standards of tributes is improving year by year, both in terms of the caliber of people that were chosen and the program that we take them through for the 3 days?
You start by being surprised, and then you go to being mesmerized.
Yeah.
It's going up and up, you know, because as technology betters, we begin to connect with more amazing people because it becomes a global village, and it's amazing what you find out there. You choose somebody in media, for instance, this year, who has done maybe multi-platform, Rolani Malloy, newsreader, she's on TV. Then you find somebody who has written 5 books later, somebody who has traveled the world, has spoken on international platforms, and the standard keeps on going up. And remember that tribune that you first chose is still representing. So it becomes a standard that's maintained, but it still goes up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Manda, Editor-in-Chief, Disability Magazine, a very good friend of Tributes, a judge for 2 consecutive years. Mr. Manda, it has been my honor working with you. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.